So I think we can take a break from the cynical beeping and talk about you for a moment, Catherine.
Sounds good.
How are you, by the way?
I'm great. I'm super happy to be here.
Awesome. Here is West Hollywood, California, and Van Nuys, California, and Portland, Oregon, but mostly out in the Dagobah system.
Yeah.
Catherine, you've produced a couple short films, right?
Yes, produced, wrote, and starred in them.
Can you tell us
Yes.
about them?
Yes, absolutely. My first short film was for the 2017 LA Film Festival contest, and I ended up winning fan favorite with over 500,000 online views within a week of it being online. So
wow,
that was pretty cool. It was judged by Oscar winners. Got to go to the LA Film Festival and celebrate. It was awesome. And then my follow-up short film, Behind Her Eyes, ended up getting picked up by Amazon Prime Shorts TV and OP Prime TV.
That's amazing. And
Yeah.
you wrote these? Do you have a
Yeah.
writing partner?
No, just me.
Wow. Do you have somebody that you bounce them off of? Like say, okay, I've written something. I need
Now
some
I
notes.
do. Now
Okay,
I do.
cool.
For the short films, not so much. I kind of had a mentor guiding me, but for short films, I mean, it was like 8 pages, 8 to 10 pages. But now that I'm in feature writing, I've found some professional writers to bounce my ideas off of, and oh my God, it's so helpful.
Have you been in any pitch meetings at all yet, or?
Yes. That is terrifying. I mean, I'm an actor, so I feel like I'm okay with talking, to people about it, but the pressure of like trying to condense an entire feature film into like 30 seconds, like how do you get across everything that you want to say in a pitch? It's so nuanced.
Practice. So you said the second one that was picked up by Amazon is Behind Her Eyes. What's the first one called and where can we see it?
It's called Amelia's Story, which is also on Amazon Prime. And yeah, you can just search it and find it and watch it.
That's awesome. You are also writing, or you wrote, and you're actively pitching a horror thriller.
Yes.
Which is probably what you're talking about when you said you've done the pitching. How's that going? Can you tell us a little bit about that, or is it like super top secret?
Oh no, absolutely. I'd love to talk about it. Are you guys fans of Reddit at all?
I'm a big fan that it exists. I've never really.
I've played on it a little bit. Yeah.
I can't do it. I like look at it and I'm like, this looks just like really weird.
I'm still figuring it out, but yeah.
Well, it's great if you get in there because it has topics for literally anything you can imagine.
I've used it a lot for researching different things. I'm like, I want to know about this, and I'll do a search on Google, and it'll be like Reddit, and I was like, all right, we'll check that out.
Exactly. So there's this topic forum called No Sleep, where people submit their horror short stories. And I read a couple years ago, and there was one that was like so gripping, and I literally like stayed up all night reading it because it's called the Whistler series. It was terrifying, and it was like a page turner, and I could see it as a film. So I reached out to the author and I optioned it.
Nice.
I optioned the story and I turned it into a feature film screenplay. And at first it was purely horror. It's very much in the vein of Bird Box, about a haunted forest where you can't see the evil force, you can only hear it. Hence the name The Whistlers.
No wonder she likes the force.
Exactly. This is an evil dark force. So anyone that enters gets overtaken by the whistling noises, and they turn on each other, or they turn on their own self, and only one survivor ends up surviving out of every group that goes in. So
that's awesome.
How many times? I've turned it into more of like a psychological thriller now, after pitching it and getting the feedback. So it's now a lot more complex and layered and a little more Shutter Island like.
Okay. Yeah. So your pitch has also evolved.
Yes.
Do you feel like you're ready for the next one? Like you're like, all right, I'm ready for this next pitch. I got it nailed down to 28 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I submitted to the Netflix. I think it's called The Impact, where you can. Have you guys heard about that?
I've heard of it.
Yeah. So they were looking for a female-driven thriller. So I submitted mine, and you have to have a 30-second pitch. So I recorded mine, and we'll see. I mean, I'm guessing thousands of people submitted, but it was good practice.
Yeah.
That was me knocking on wood.
Yeah.
I got a couple different woods here.
Yeah. But I love writing. I actually went back to school recently to get my degree in film and television. So
now I first met you as an actress. You were the actress. Not
you were
not
the
me.
actor too.
Yeah, but yeah, I definitely was that. But I didn't know that you did so much writing and producing. I was kind of wondering, do you have a preference? Like if you could only do one for the rest of your life, do you have a preferred
Probably
path?
writing. I love acting, and I would love to have that as my job for the rest of my life, but there's something a little bit more creatively fulfilling to me about writing and telling my own stories. And the things that come along with acting, like fame and all that stuff, that's never appealed to me. So I would much rather like hide out in my house and write.
Ryan and I are both nodding our heads because
I
think we both agree with that. Yeah.
It's just so much more fulfilling too, because you're telling your own story, like you said, rather than telling somebody else's story as an actor, for example.
Right. Like to act in my own projects, that's probably like the top of the top. But I also like have to know my own limits and be like, okay, someone else might do a better job than me too. So yeah.
When you're writing things, do you write a role specifically for yourself?
Yes, the lead role, I always have myself in mind. Just because I very much pour my heart and soul into the story. So like the female protagonist is usually based on things that I've gone through metaphorically. So
let me ask you this though, in this horror thriller that you've written, if you were not going to play the part, who do you envision like as far as like a star that could play this part?
You know, I've had to do that for my pitches. So I have, you know, honestly, there's so many people like from A-list, like Amy Adams, you know, someone that's, you know, strong and beautiful, but also like can convey like pain really, really beautifully. So someone like Lily Collins, I like her a lot too. You know, I'm open for anyone, anything. You know what I've learned from casting projects, it's like you may have someone in mind, but when someone reads and you weren't even expecting them to, but they just fit it, you know? So I'm sure you guys have experienced that.
Yep. Sometimes somebody just shows up and you're like, oh, that's good. I like that. That I did not expect that, but I think I like it better.
Yeah.
Do you guys like the horror thriller genre?
I'm a comedy guy myself, so everything I write, everything I do, I always try to make it funny and go for comedy. Ryan has done some horror thriller stuff.
Yeah, horror's fine. I've never been like gripped or frightened by one. It doesn't work on me. I guess because I'm able to separate myself and realize that so it's okay. It's fine. Yeah, I think I'm more of a comedy or a sci-fi kind of guy, but I like horror. I like thriller. You know, if it's good, I'll enjoy it. You know, I can still enjoy it even if I'm not like frightened. Certain comedies frighten me the most, I think. Like Bruno really had me squirming a couple times.
What Well, I am putting together a little web series, a comedy web series called #Dating in LA about dating in LA.
No
really
big surprises there, yeah.
No big surprises. But I will say comedy writing to me is harder than dramatic writing. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but it's, it's hard to convey jokes, like it's
Like
very
for me,
situational.
I can tell a joke, and I can like when I'm writing jokes for my stand-up routine, I can like know that okay, this is going to be pretty funny. But then as far as like all right, it's okay. But then it's like if I'm writing something for like a short film or something like that, then it's a little bit like it's. I mean, this is why I've kind of given up on directing too, is because I'll write something that I think is funny, and then I'll direct it, and it won't be funny.
You're like, I thought that was going to be funnier.
Yeah, I should leave it to somebody else to make it funny. But like sketch comedy, I think I can write some funny sketches. So.
Right. Well, that's really cool, Catherine. We'll definitely include the links below in the description box so people can check out your movies and check them out and tell you how great of a writer and actress and produceress you are.
Ah!
That was Home Alone, ladies and gentlemen.
Beep, beep, beep.
Excited beeping.
Yeah, surprised beeping.